Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for you got it, Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and on my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. We do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play it as karmic themes to help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting that person into your life. There's many different realities that play it at one time. Why would you choose to live that reality? Well, most of the time we don't consciously choose. So that's why I like to dive deep within the readings, because then we understand why everything's playing out, and it just, it puts us back into balance, because what throws us out of balance is the ruminating thoughts, right? Those ruminating thoughts keep us stuck in anger or in resentment or in jealousy, or whatever that karmic theme is. So to stop that karmic looping, we have to, again, do something to shift the energy. So they are healing style readings. They have a little bit of therapy style to them. Okay, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box below. All right, let's see what the underlining energy is. We always want to know what that is, because unfortunately, when we're dealing with people that have spiritual blockages, they wear masks, they create illusions, create facades, they gaslight. Hey, Britt, thank you. That's my tarp. I really should have raised it because it was driving me crazy. This is my OCD. All right. Thank you. Let's see what the underlining energy is. I'm going to pick two cards. One from my deck, the Psychic Soul Healer Oracle deck. This deck comes with a workbook that has over 70 different shadow healing exercises. Teaches you how to do psychic readings, healing, shadow healing, and deepen your meditation and reflection practices. All right, let's see. The word is release fear and ancestral karma. And let's see what the other card is. Okay. I like this deck too. And this deck is the shadow samskara cards. And samskara in Hindu is soul wounds. It's the same word as soul wounds. And it's, again, just combination between psychological and emotional energy held in the body as stress is what becomes our energy vibration. You're a magnet from what comes into your life. Unfortunately, there's only two energies, love and fear. So you could be just someone that has a low self-esteem and, attract a real asshole that's, negative. Disequilibrium. Well, again, disequilibrium, when we're talking about fear and ancestral karma, we're talking about the psychological and the emotional aspects of ourselves, because what makes up a person's energy? Their thoughts and their emotions. Like I said, that's what makes a person take action, and the action is what creates the karma. So when we're releasing fear and ancestral karma, what it's saying is to stop reacting from a place of fear. Again, getting into a codependent relationship, being with a narcissist, having a drug addiction, or an alcohol addiction, having a low self-esteem, all these lower energies, only two energies, love and fear. So a person feeling inferior, feeling not good enough, not worthy is also inherited. And unfortunately, if you grew up in an environment where your ancestors grew up in an environment where they were persecuted and told that they were a piece of shit, you're not worth anything except to be my slave. You can clean my shoes. You can, you don't have the same rights. You got to sit over there. I don't like the color of your skin. I don't like your religion. I don't like, we came from barbaric times with like history. When you go back into history, it's barbaric. So unfortunately, we inherit collective karma, and the ancestors, they really dealt with a lot of ancestral karma, and so they lived from that level of consciousness because that was their reality. That was their reality, but Spirit says it's not your reality. So what are those beliefs and how are they playing out within your relationship? We want to know, because again, we want to stop the karmic looping and understand like there's many different realities. So if you change how you are, you force that person to change. Change does not come by telling the person to change. It doesn't come by talking. You can talk until you're blue in the face because it's habits. It's again, we unconsciously teach a person how we want to be treated. So again, disequilibrium would be that if you're not feeling worthy enough and you're not conscious of it, well, then guess what? You just threw the relationship in a place of disequilibrium because you're more conscious about that person's happiness and that person's well-being than your own. Because your happiness comes from that person being happy and not filling your own cup up. So let's see. Again, head over heels. Beware of falling too fast. Look before you leap. Again, we fall in love too fast. So again, you see the person's potential. You see all those elements, but is that person? A lot of times, no. Does that person usually know what their problem is? Yeah, people know if they're broke. Yeah, people know if they have bad relationships. They know that about themselves. They don't know why, And so again, running in too fast and only focusing on what we want to see. And the reason why is because you're in a place of disequilibrium, which is imbalance. And that's because you're imbalanced, but you wouldn't know that you were imbalanced. You would have to have something manifest within the outer world to show you that you were imbalanced. That's just common sense. But the imbalance here is running in for the potential, not really the person. And then it becoming very shallow, and then you become very consumed in it. When meanwhile, again, the person kept it shallow. So now here it is. You're like, well, what the fuck relationship was that? And why was it so intense? And why do I still feel that person's energy? And why like so much energy? Now we're expelling on that person. And it's in fear. Where it's like, really, it's time at this point to say, well, why did you attract that person into your life, right? Like, what do they represent? And here it's like the unknown really within yourself. You don't know within that person, but you're more willing to like almost invest in that person. And you may say no, but Spirit says it's how much time, it's how much love you pour into something. So when you're pouring it into a person because you say, well, I like them and I wanted them to treat me the way I wanted, how I'm treating them, I'm showing them. Spirit says, yeah, but you're not teaching them how to treat you. You're teaching them they don't have to do it for you. It's like, it's perception. It's everything and understand that person's coming across like you should be doing it because they usually came from a very imbalanced environment. Usually where one parents didn't parent. Parents didn't parent. They were spoiled. Where because maybe the father was bad or there was no father or there was no mother. There was some compensation there. And so understand where it's not like there's not a connection. I'll answer everyone's questions at the end. Okay, so like divine union where it's like it feels like that connection because past life karmic mates feel exactly like twin flames. And it's because they're coming in with a lesson. And that karmic lesson is a big one. It's one from a past life. That's why you were born into the ancestral karma. Again, you were born into the family to teach you the lessons that weren't learned. The person you recognize from a past life. Do you recognize them like, hey, you're from a past life? No, there's a familiarity. It's again, we don't know why. We might not be able to put our finger on it. There's just a sense of comfortability. And that is why it's dangerous, because it feels like the twin flame. It feels like the soul, that person, that divine union. But difference is a person that's a divine union has stepped into their energy. They want to do the work. Do they know how to do the work? No, but they're willing to do the work. Where the past life karmic mate doesn't care to do the work, doesn't want to heal. They just want what they want. So that's why it's dangerous if we run into this type of connection, because it's imbalanced and we don't see. So it's like almost like driving a car and looking in like your rear view mirror and seeing that the car is closer than it actually is. It's like we see things from a distorted perception. And that, like I said, isn't that looming agenda. So it's almost like a person has different ideas about what the relationship actually is supposed to be and what they want and what they know you want. And so I don't even need to look to see, because I could know that the person is not going to take your feelings into consideration, because they would know this about you. You know what I mean? It's like they would know that what your intention was, that you wouldn't have gone into a relationship like this. So they're shady on top of it. And that's why they're also imbalanced. So again, a lot of anxiety, like where the person steals your joy. And so I'm feeling, I hate to say it, and I know we use this word a lot, but narcissistic energy. Again, and knowing your energy. Knowing your energy, that you're a giver, you're a lover, that once you let someone in, you're going to really let them in. You might not let them in easy, but you might be like, this person knows how to play the game. He did all those things the correct way to get in through the gate. But again, knowing you're going to give too much energy, knowing exactly who you are. So like almost like this person like scopes out people that they know who are going to be givers, who they're going to be. And you might be like, I didn't give that much. I understand if this person's not really giving that much, you don't really have to give that much for them to be like, you're going to give me more. And again, that's the imbalance, which then is codependent relationship. Now, and again, make you feel angry. So that's what I feel like this person did. Now, is that their intention? A lot of times it's not their intention. You know, we look at the spiritual cards to say, well, what connection is this? What do they really feel? Like, why did it look like this? Why, because it didn't make sense. If it's a divine union and it feels like that, and that's why, again, we then stay in a place of disequilibrium, because it doesn't make sense. And so it's like, again, secrets and deceptions like this person has. And for some of you, there was someone else interfering. I'm not saying for all, but for some, like either this person didn't shut the door all the way, or again, had someone on the back burner. Again, intimacy issues, and when I look, it's like, I'm just not ready. It's like this person just wasn't ready for the type of relationship that it was. Well, what kind of relationship is it? It's like, well, obviously they could feel that intense connection. They could feel it. ESP through the heart and mind. This person's not stupid. So it's, again, our hearts are are connected. So again, they can feel, again, that they're really, really connected to you in that way, which is real. Which when a person isn't ready for that relationship, they're going to run the opposite way. Because they understand the past life karmic mate has intimacy issues. They have trust issues. They have abandonment issues. They have issues. And so this is why they're, again, in this low energy and, scoping out people that are givers, knowing, again, I can tell you, I do have a connection and I'm attracted to you, but that's important too, that you're going to be giving to me, that you're going to be nurturing to me. This person, I feel like, was kind of spoiled. It's like sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head. At times it triggers me because I wonder how much you can see into me. And again, this person doesn't really like who they are. So it's like, I don't really want you seeing everything. I don't really want you up that close to me because I don't like, there are certain things, because if you saw them, I know you wouldn't like me. I know you wouldn't like me. So it's better that you're like, I almost like reject you, because then I get to stay in this energy where, you're going to think of me almost as better. You're going to want me. You're going to continue to want me. It's like, and we're going to have this connection that's, again, in the 3D, which no one wants to be in a relationship like that. And and that's the issue with this person. I mean, that's the thing. This person just feels the chemistry, and that's it. So again, what is get people to do things? It's that passion, right? It's the lust. And this person feels the chemistry, but they know, they feel like the energy of that will bring you guys back together again, which again is kind of very fantasy. It's not real, but it's almost like I don't have to do anything. Like it's just going to wound up working out, which understand, like you don't want to be in a relationship that's one-sided. It's like this person thinks a lot about what they get from the relationship, but if you notice, it didn't say anything about what they were giving you. If anything, they were overly cautious, and they don't want you in that close, but they want your energy. Please send me support, energetic support, use the frequency of love to uplift me because I need your help. Because again, this person is like, they're not secure within themselves. They need somebody, which is, again, if there's a third party, it's a person that was on the back burner that's just going to settle for the breadcrumbs, that's going to blow this person's ego up. And so, if they were doing that and they weren't giving you the time, because you're like, well, you weren't giving me the time, and now you're all butthurt that I'm not giving you the time, and you're not even trying to get me back. What you're doing is you're saying, well, the energy that we have, the connections, so you're delusional, and you're also prideful and still in your ego, because there's a reason why you don't want to come back. And that's, when people are not healed, this is what it is. You think I'm not listening to you, but I am. I hear everything you say and even replay our conversations in my head. Yeah, they ruminate. They get in their own way. And the samskara is that. It's like it's going to go around and around and around and around and around. And that's the thing. This person's not strong in themselves. See, it's like they can't fully be there for you as long as this other person. So again, there's another person is in their life. They know it's hard for you, but I have to go through this experience in order to heal it. So either they're connected to a karmic, or they, and that karmic could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a past person, it could be an ex, but they have to go through it. They don't have the confidence. And that's really what it is. This person is shady because they have people that are given to them. So they're like, I don't really want to give up that. Makes them feel good. With you, they have to do work. They have to do work, and because the connection is real. It's like you can read them. They're like, you're reading what's in my head. It's like, I feel like you know what's going on. And it's like, why are you so paranoid? It's like, because they're shady. That's why. So that's what it comes down to. Clear the illusion of the 3D world. Don't take everything at face value. There's a lot more going on spiritually and energetically than you can see. Well, you don't see nothing going on here, except for this person, in not a great situation. They're not happy in their situation, but they don't have the guts to like leave that situation or really let go, so they can come forward. And then, again, they would have to come in correct. They want you to send them energy to uplift them. They want, again, you to do it. So it's almost like the problem is that there's too much feminine energy. That's just what I keep feeling. It's like, you're like, I'm not going to do your job. You know, my ego is fragile to criticism and rejection. So I've created walls to protect myself. And that's exactly what you see here. That's exactly why you need to do all the work, because of that right there. And that's why I said it's like they have feelings for you, but they don't have enough feelings to actually do what it takes. And that's because they don't love themselves that much. I'd long ago shut down those parts of me that wanted love and romance and intimacy, but you make me long for those things again. So they're battling themselves, you know. So again, it's trained behavior of I don't really want this. And, you know, I'm connected to a past life karmic mate that, you know, it's not a good situation, but I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable because this person doesn't really care what I do. They gave up on me a long time ago. So I can cheat and I can treat them bad and I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. With you, again, it's a real connection. It's a deep connection. And they're just not ready for it. And that's their issue. You know, we can pull all day long, but it's like I said, it is what it is. So you have to say, well, what are they doing? What is their behaviors that they're actually, you know, keeping them locked into that connection to see what's going on? Because what you usually see is a lot of other bad negative behaviors, old habits. Look at that, old habits, feeling inadequacy, again, afraid of rejection once you get to know them. And we head back to family patterns. So whatever they grew up in, they're reliving that. They're again living their ancestral. So again, if they were a cheater, if they had drug addiction, if they had whatever, it's like they're redoing that. And if you would be with this person, you would be back in living your ancestral karma, whatever that was. So if your mother was with an alcoholic, if she was with a narcissist, if she was with someone that cheated, well, you'd head right back into it with this person. They're all ego. They're all about themselves. They're all about being afraid of rejection. So they do what they do. They let anger run them. And that's really what that ancestral karma is becomes rage held within the root chakra. So then the person, like, again, is like then has a really bad second chakra where it's, again, they're led by their addictions. So again, I feel like it allows them to stay in those lower energies where, yeah, I have this person here, I don't have to do a damn thing. And I'm not going to. You know, it's like that addiction. Didn't I say? I told you. I said we're going to see a slew of bad behaviorisms. And that is what you would be if you were with this person. It's like, understand the person that is hanging on to this person, like, is like, has given up everything, has made their life for this person. Trust me, because this person that can't stand on their own 2 feet, they don't want to fuck that person anymore because, hey, it's like, you're my mom now, you're my dad now, whatever it is, you're no fun. You're like boring and you're always yelling at me, always telling me, but that person has given their blood, sweat, tears, and it's like they're not even a relationship anymore. It's like almost like a slave. That person's like, love that person more than they love themselves. And so even though that person is like, I don't even want to touch you, I don't have that emotion for you anymore, they're stuck in that their childhood trauma of not getting that love. And that's, again, being the fixer, giving the healer, being self-sacrificing, being the martyr. So this person would need another person like that. And then it would be all passionate for however long, and then forever you would be trying to get it back like that person. Get it back to that passion, get it back, and it would never happen because, you know, addiction, person's avoidant, they don't show up emotionally, they give very little. It's the other person that's giving a lot. And so this person is, like I said, is with the karmic that is like fighting for them, but they don't want to be there anymore. But they need another host. And they're saying, well, you're not going to do that. You know, you're gonna definitely be And you would be like, I'm not your mother. I'm not your person. I'm not that. You would be that way. And this person doesn't want to hear it because, again, their lack of how they feel about themselves. So this is the issue here. So the best thing that you could say is, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. And unfortunately, again, fear can look like this bullshit when you're like, I'm nothing like this. But Spirit would say, yeah, but you didn't honor yourself enough. You didn't love yourself enough. First card out, confusion. Nurturing. Space. Safety and security. Time and attention. Inner authority. You know, the irony, because it's like, I didn't even feel like these are that bad of inner child wound cards. I mean, yeah, there was a lack of nurturing and emotional support, because that's what, you know, time and attention and nurturing really means. So there was a lack of security and safety. Like maybe you just felt like my parents weren't all warm and fuzzy. I couldn't really be transparent with them. And so I had to do more. Like I had to do more about what they said, even though I have very good intuition and I was always somebody that, you know, could lead myself, again, had inner authority. My parents thought that that was a little too rebellious. They thought that that was a little bit, and so they always wanted me to like do what was, you know, do what was politically correct. So, but I have a big spirit and, you know, this is you, I feel like, Virgo. And I, you know, wanted to do bigger things, but they always wanted me to play it safe. Like, go get married, have a family, you know, take this job, do this. Like, they always meant well. It's not like they didn't mean well. However, you know, there was a lot of open space. To me is about going out and creating yourself, finding yourself, having a love affair with yourself. You know, the space is not, if you were taking the time and the energy, which you did put into yourself, but you put it into like things that other people wanted you to do. And it's like, so now you're like, well, I have a job and it's an okay job. It pays my bills, but it's definitely not my passion. It's like I go off to it every day and it's kind of humdrum. And like, so there's like the flavor of who you are, you know, is still like kind of missing. And Spirit always does that, by the way, because we have to find ourselves. And that's how we have a connection with Spirit, because it's through our passions and it's through being grounded that we connect to different people and we meet angels along the way that help us heal, help us change our mind and our heart about who we are and what we can actually have. And finding that security. So it's not really even a blame game here, because it's, again, our parents, like they're going to try and do the best for us. Even if they're like not the best parents, they can still love their kids the best way that they know how. And they're going to say, I want them to go to school. I want them to get, you know, grades. I want them to, you know, do well in life, you know, but the perception of how well they supported you in your own unique endeavors, like was what was lacking. And maybe, again, just because the other stuff overshadowed. So we still need to transmute that energy, because, again, if you don't know who you are, or you're not really 100% satisfied with your life, unfortunately, hey, that's grounds for pulling a person to you that's imbalanced, because Spirit said this, you don't have passion in your life. You know, passion is, you know, your connection to God. It's your connection to the universe. It's through our heart. It's, you know, like, it's the whole principle of why we're here, to become the expression of love by giving and receiving of love. And so if we're not like doing that, then we're missing the whole point of why we're here. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So we have to transmute the negative energy, because you'd be like, that's it. And I attracted this asshole. It's like, because I didn't come from a real bad home, and I didn't really come from, like, I had a pretty good childhood. I always thought, yeah, so my parent wasn't there all the time. Who cares? You know what I mean? But Spirit says there's only two energies, love and fear, and less. Again, the passion for life, to be in the highest vibration of unconditional love, where you lose all time and all space, meaning you're not stressed out. You're actually the vibration of the universe when you are co creating with, you know, everyone in the universe through doing what you love. And Spirit says that's how your cup is full, and that's how you really know yourself, and that's how new doors open for you. And this person, they didn't want to give anything, so there's a lack. And Spirit says, but there's no such thing as lack. You're like, no, it's boring. It's lack. There's nothing happening over here. I go to work, I come home, there's nothing going on. And Spirit says, that's choice. And you're like, no, my job. And Spirit says, well, again, there's a lot of hours in the day, and understand if healing doesn't feel good, you'd have to again change things around. But it might mean taking a course to get certified in something that you do love, and doing that in your free time. And is that uncomfortable? Yeah, it's uncomfortable. No one wants to do that. But if it took you a year and a half to do it, guess what? In a year and a half, there would be something. And Spirit says, where you need that light at the end of the tunnel, and you can't want someone to come into your life and say, here's all this love, if you're not willing to love yourself that much to be uncomfortable for a little amount of time, is what Spirit is saying. It's like we're not supposed to do one thing forever, but a lot of times we get stuck in the survival, and then Spirit says, but then you're omitting me. You're omitting your spiritual sovereignty, which the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. But there's a lack of faith. So you're out of alignment with the laws of the universe, because the laws of the universe are the same as the laws of God. So I'm going to bring you this person that it's lack. And you're like, what the fuck? And the Spirit says, yeah, there's no support. Just like how it felt growing up. Like your inner authority is correct. That's right. This person's not doing it for me. They're not nurturing. And Spirit says, do it yourself. It's like, I want you to do it yourself. It's again, because the most important relationship is the relationship you will have with Spirit, because that's where your spiritual sovereignty comes from. And Spirit says, first of all, acknowledge what you've gone through. You're a strong person. It's like that wasn't an easy thing to go through. Whoops. And then that was different deck, thank God. And then infinite possibilities. So that there's a lot of opportunities that play out at one time. You get to choose your perception. Spirit says, if this is all you're going to settle for, and that's, then that's all you're going to get. And so you don't want that, when meanwhile, you can have whatever it is that you want, but you have to align your heart with, your actions. I don't like this card, and I always say it because they have a person on it. And I don't think that this is what it's talking about. I think what it's talking about is like your passions for life, align like what you love to do, and then yes, you will meet people that also are like-minded, and you will be teaching them how to treat you due to how you treat yourself. But to just align your actions, because you already did that. It's like you didn't get good results from just doing that. You have to, again, it's more or less about becoming more about yourself, as I said. And now we're going to pull one more, two more, and that's brighter horizons. If you can't imagine a brighter horizon, it's not going to happen. You have to embody it, and you can't embody something that you can't imagine. So you have to act as if you have it. So you have it by, again, embodying it. And that requires going into uncharted waters. It's, again, going into places that you've never been before, so that you can see yourself differently, because you're going to meet different people in different situations, and those people are going to treat you more in alignment with who you are today, not who you used to be, not who they want you to be, because you showed them unconsciously, again, by being too nice, by giving too much. It's again, go out into the world and see actually, what the world has to offer you. Again, all that space, Spirit says, because you didn't create. It's again, so there's a sense of somebody else did, and I'm not really that fulfilled. But now I want someone else to come in and give me fulfillment. Spirit says, you already did that. That's not going to work. Your fulfillment comes from creating yourself and then grounding that and then going out into the world, because I'm going to then bring you people, situations, and experiences through my extension, which is the universe, because I created the universe, God says, and I'm going to bring you that. And that's what's going to bring you back to your original energy, to help restore you back to the energy of love. However, there is karmic tests along the way. And this was one of them, where a spirit says, well, you could either move ahead to infinite possibilities and much brighter horizons, or you could go back into ancestral karma and be with an avoidant person that's going to have addictions and just not be there for you and not bring you any support and not give you any love either. Your choice. And so you're like, well, it's kind of like a no-brainer. I picked the door that has the new car and the trip. I don't want the curtain that has, the fucking washing machine and Zonker. It's like I can see it. And Spirit says, so again, it's not that you don't see it, but sometimes people see it, but they love that person more than they love themselves. And that was again the ancestral karma that you're breaking, that you have to love yourself, because this person was looking for another martyr. And again, to take the place of the old martyr. Are you going to be that person? No. Why? Because again, you already know how the story plays out and you're not interested. And so Spirit leaves off with one more card. And that is, well, two. Spirit wanted two, I guess. I didn't mean to take two, but two kind of came out. So we got to take it. Goodness. Overcome your imperfections by polishing your character. Feed on the positive. Free yourself. Allow your goodness to manifest and become a source of joy through gentleness. Offer unconditional support and understanding and love to yourself and others. So it's again, really know again who you are. Spirit saying you don't really even know all the things that you have to offer. Don't know all your talents. You don't know any that would happen if you didn't have the time and the attention and the support and the nurturing. So Spirit says now you need to again nurture those things. It's again, so you can again really see that there really are no imperfections. It's just parts of yourself that aren't developed properly. So you say, that doesn't work. It doesn't look right there, but it's again, it doesn't work. And Spirit says, everything that I make works. You're just not operating it correctly. And so Spirit says, so, attention. Manifest attentive to all that manifests within inside of you. When negativity rises within you, transform it into light, love, and hope. And you can do that by integrating the spiritual lesson. When you get triggered, you say, why am I getting triggered? And again, that person's making me angry. That person's making me feel not good enough. That person's making me feel as if I'm inadequate. That person is, again, which God doesn't make broken. You're just not operating the equipment properly. If you put your pants on like a shirt, it's going to look retarded. It's going to look fucked up. Not even, so, not to insult. I always I date myself because I was born in the 70s when we used to say stuff like that. So my apologies. Anyway, but you get my drift, that it's going to be wrong. It's going to look wrong. It's going to look stupid. You're going to be like, what is that? It's like, because it's not done that way. And Spirit says there's many different realities that play out at one time. If you're picking that one, it's clearly because you're not knowing what you're doing. And so have love for others, and it should be unconditional, because again, you are the energy of unconditional love, because that's the energy of the universe. That's the energy of God. That's the energy of what's inside of every single person. That's spirit. It's again, it's our connection to each other. I don't need to know you to have empathy for you. I don't need to, like have gone through your situation to feel what you've gone through, but many of us do. And Spirit says, most of all, forgive. And that's a hard one. And Spirit says, especially like if you've gone through where it's like, well, look where I came from. There was, again, I was ignored. I wasn't nurtured. I wasn't, Spirit says, again, forgive. And the desire to improve should be constant and firm. Be brave and hardworking. So, what this is just saying is like you're paying attention to those spiritual blocks, and when they arise, you can integrate them and heal them. And when you do, like your life changes, because what winds up happening is you're not just seeing how you contribute to the imbalances within the situation, and that's a lot of times it's just the perception, how you're viewing like the situation. And then once you view it differently, then you can say, well, what better action steps can I take? Because understand, those spiritual lessons will play out again and again and again, because the universe will continually give you those experiences until you pass the karmic test. That's why it says what you resist persists. Karmic loops are all about that, where it's like, this is the same experience, but it's a different person. And Spirit says, because you have to do something different. It's like you get stuck in stupid and stuck in fear, because that's what fear does. It's like you're not going to logically think, you're going to react. And the same habits and behaviorisms that created support at one time most likely will be what sabotages you later on in life. The Spirit says presence, presence. All you have is now. Don't come from the past. So we have to heal, and we have to let go, and we have to integrate. And we can really do that when we heal the spiritual lesson. But we can do that because that's our right. It's our birthright to, again, for our spiritual sovereignty, to be able to create our own heaven on earth. It's our promise that there is no separation from us and our creator, that we have that power, but we have to hone into it. And that means we have to heal our trauma, and we have to do it now, because there's a spiritual war happening. You see it because there's physical wars happening. So obviously there are spiritual wars happening, because it's just a lot of bullshit in this world for a long time, that we looked the other way. Our ancestors looked the other way. They pretended that it didn't happen. They didn't know how to handle it. But it's up to us to break that character. And it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with you, and then we can actually do it ourselves. Michael Jackson, remember, if you want to change the world, take a look at yourself, start with yourself. And it's, again, when you do that, you begin to change the environment that you're in, or the people that are in the environment won't even stay in your life, because you'll be at such a high vibration, which at the end of the day, to manifest the life and the life experiences that you want, you need to surround yourself with people that are going to support you and love you every step of the way. And I want you guys to know that I'm here for you guys if you need. All right. Thank you for joining me today. If you like the video, give it a like. It's good karma. And I'll answer your question. So what does this say? They say you see at your own vibration. So being of a higher vibration, we're able to see the potential as if, yeah, and that's true. But I also think if we're wounded, then what happens is that, there's such a desire, and that there's a want for it. So we're also imbalanced in the fact that it's like what's driving it, because you may see the person's potential, but you're not seeing your own potential, is the whole moral. It's like you're seeing them for who, and that's the irony. At the end of the day, the person undervalues you when you, and then you walk away and they finally see who you are, and you actually see who they are, where you gave them more credit and they didn't give you enough credit. That's usually what happens with karmics when a person takes their power back. They're like, why didn't I see this? And it's because, hey, you were treating them the way that you treat everybody else. You didn't see it until the person walked away, their potential, because again, the abandonment triggers them to actually then become obsessive and want what they can't have. When meanwhile, if you were like, here, let's be in a relationship, they'd run away from you. They wouldn't want it. And that's the second chakra imbalance. And that's someone that has an intimacy issue. And being in a relationship with someone like that is like being by yourself. All right, guys, thank you for being on and sharing your energy with me. I will be on again tomorrow. Be true to you. Remember, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. Love yourself. And when you do, you'll be a magnet for those that are going to love you too. And you'll be teaching people how to treat you. Bye-bye.